everybody. Happy Monday. I'm so glad to be back doing a live stream, a news live stream. We've been watching a lot of movies together. We're going to watch Loki on Wednesday at 3 a.m. I'm so excited. We have some new members here. Hey, William. William, nice to see you. Thank you. If you join during a live stream, you'll get a shout out, and I'll do a couple of shout outs at the end of the stream as usual. So for the way that streams work is that we will go through the 3 stories of the day, and then we'll do an Ask Me Anything section. And then finally, we'll have a section where we can do a couple of shout outs just to everybody. You just basically tell me what you're up to. I hope you all had a lovely weekend. I have been working on my Loki review. That's what I was working on before this stream. I filmed it. I still have to edit it. The embargo lifts tomorrow at noon. And there are going to be a lot of reviews. Disney, I'm not sure why they've been unusually aggressive with this one. I'm not sure, maybe that it's so crowded these days, but they've just given it to everybody. Like every outlet got Loki in advance. So it is just going to be raining reviews tomorrow at noon. It's going to be incredible. All right, everybody, let's get started. All right, so story number 1. Boop. So I'm not making a standalone video about this because I can't confirm it. And no trade has been able to confirm it, which is unusual. Usually, this was broken by the Illuminati, right? The Illuminati, small site. They do have, I think, a solid track record, though. They said they had this scoop pretty early today, like at around noon, which is the beginning of the workday for the West Coast. So I think a trade would have confirmed it by now. But, you know, these days, never say never. I haven't had, hey, Michael Howe. I haven't had any of my sources confirm it or say it's not true. So it's still in the realm of possible. But it trended like crazy, which is why I decided I would cover it in the live stream. So why did it trend? It really trended. So it trended, it was like a perfect storm of trending. First off, some people felt that they had changed the ethnicity of Namor. This has been a talking point for a while now. Comic books, they are drawn in a way that you can't always tell, I think. I'm so glad you can support the channel too, Michael. And a number of people had wanted Henry Golding to be Namor. I think he would have been a really strong choice. And I think, Luke Evans also was a fan cast that people wanted to see. A lot of people had someone they would like to see be Namor. So I think one of the reasons it trended was I saw a lot of people pouring one out for the person they wanted it to be. This guy, I'm not familiar. Hey, Jesse Johnson. I'm not familiar with Tenoch Huerta's work. I think it's exciting that he's a Mexican actor, and I think that one of the groups that people feel hasn't been getting enough representation, as we have this explosion of representation in Hollywood, is the Latino community. So I think that's why it's very exciting to a number of people. So he is a Mexican actor. He's on Narcos Mexico. That's where a lot of people know him from. I watched like the first season of Narcos and a little bit of the second, but I didn't stick around with it. He's also on the Forever Purge, which comes out this summer, so you'll get to see him there. And it's been rumored for a while that he's in Black Panther 2, but nobody knew who he was playing. And now the Illuminati again says that they believe that he's playing Namor. Some people said that, it's a sunken civilization. Why couldn't it be? Maybe the Mayan civilization from Mexican history? I think that's a pretty interesting idea. I think that could be really cool. I think, we all knew it was going to be Namor. They had a Namor tease in Avengers Endgame when they talked about an underwater earthquake. I told you, as many people have told you. I'll talk about his tweets in a moment. Dwissel. I've been telling you as well as a number of people have. Hey, Andre, that Namor was going to be in Black Panther 2, but of course, Ryan Coogler's had to rework it a little bit because of Chadwick Boseman's tragic passing. So I think Namor will probably still be the focal point. So we'll see. I mean, I wouldn't want to be the character that maybe potentially took out T'Challa now. I think that would be really difficult. But I think that Tenoch Huerta has a cool look. He's very versatile in his look. Actually, I tried to pick the photo where he looked the most like Namor. It also had good lighting. He's not particularly famous, so they haven't taken a lot of really glossy, cool photos of him just yet. So a lot of the photos, like I saw some photos where I thought his styling was a little better, but you couldn't really see it because the background wasn't particularly good. So I think, but my feeling is that he could be, I think, a very good Namor. And he's going to be compared, obviously, to Jason Momoa's Aquaman. And they also changed the ethnicity of Aquaman in DC, which I thought was wonderful to choose a Pacific Islander actor. It made a lot of sense to me, and I'm disappointed they haven't changed it in the comics to reflect Jason Momoa, who's so successful in the movies. Aquaman, the first one, made $1 billion. I know a lot of people like to say, why did that make $1 billion? It made $1 billion because it was a great movie. I loved that movie. I thought Aquaman was great. So anyway, another reason that he trended was that he has some questionable tweets in his past. I think it's a little similar to the Simu Liu situation where people try to be funny in a tweet, and it's hard when things are written out. Some of his tweets, though, seem to be very problematic. So we'll see what they decide to do. Shuri had some very, very unfortunate comments about vaccination, and she's still with the MCU as far as we know. So I think it's a tricky situation these days. So we'll see what happens with him. Simu Liu, no blowback on. They're not James Gunn level, I don't believe. They're worse than Simu Liu's though, and Simu Liu is fine. I thought Simu Liu's tweet was in bad taste. But everything's moving along, and we'll see what happens with this actor. We'll see. Chris Siu pointed out, hey, cannot think of a username. That's funny. Chris Siu pointed out that the tweets might have been translated incorrectly by Google Translate. So that's something to consider. So it's crazy. I think there needs to be more discussion of it. Gina Carano levels? Maybe Gina Carano. I think maybe. We'll see, we'll see. I mean, he has a fan base. People like him. And it's not even confirmed that he is Namor. So we're still waiting to see exactly what happens. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with this guy. I think that from a casting perspective, not knowing where he stands on some issues, I think that he could be Namor. I think he has a good look for the character. And I do think it's important to start getting some more Latino representation on the boards. Although Miss America is coming for Doctor Strange 2, and I think that'll be really great. All right, so that's the first story of the day. Hold on, get ready. Second story. Boop. All right, so AMC Stock. I was considering rolling this into movie math yesterday, but I thought I'd talk about it on the live stream. So I don't know if you're buying any stock. I would caution you to be very careful if you do. I've been getting into the stock market myself, and I have to say, last week I was like, should I have bought AMC Stock? What happened? Well, AMC Stock, we talked about, in fact, just last week, that a capitalist fund, a hedge fund, had gotten into AMC, had bought a large position so AMC could raise a lot of money, and then turned around and sold it right away. This hedge fund sold its position. And I think that these meme stock traders thought that was problematic. They didn't like that. They didn't like playing games. So they really started to push the stock to have it rally. So it went on Tuesday, it jumped from around $10 to $60 in a single day. That was incredible. A lot of people made a lot of money on Tuesday. We'll talk about that, in fact. So it jumped, and it was so volatile that, in fact, the government, the Federal Commission, froze trading on AMC twice on Tuesday because they were like, what's going on here? So it jumped, and now you can see it's at about $55 today. So it's holding pretty good. People get on Twitter and they tweet stuff. They're like, buy, don't sell, hold the line. So people are talking about how Bitcoin really had the bottom fall out from under it. And in fact, AMC will advise any new person who purchases their stock. AMC says, hey, we just want you to be aware that there's a very strong chance that you will lose a large portion of your investment or perhaps even all of it. But they're still really leaning into this. So this was the first reason I wanted to cover this. AMC loves their new shareholders. And in fact, it's gotten to the point where 80% of the company is owned by people who are first time or, not professional shareholders. People who buy just one or a couple of shares, who are getting their Twitter advice from, their stock advice from Twitter. That makes up 80% of the company. So AMC is loving this because, they were almost out of business over the pandemic. So they're like, this is fantastic. So they delayed a shareholders meeting so that more of these individuals can be involved. They're talking about doing free screenings for shareholders and that you will get free popcorn whenever you come to the theater because you're a shareholder. They're really trying to make it like fun. But I have to say, you got to be really careful about making trading stocks fun because it has extremely serious consequences. So I think that don't think of being someone who owns stock as like being a fan. It's not the same thing. It's actual money. And of course, remember the golden rule when it comes to investing, never invest more than you can afford to lose. Black Lightning, I'm so happy that you got in at $4 and now it's at $55. Keep an eye on that. When it starts to drop, you might want to consider selling. As some of you are pointing out, Kevin Bacon lost all of his money to Bernie Madoff. And actually, he and Kyra Sedgwick, some of the reasons they might make some questionable career choices these days is because they lost all their money and they have to build up their savings again. So while all of these like new investors are purchasing AMC stock, it's been revealed that not only is AMC selling off tons of their own stock to raise capital to expand, try and buy up some of the theaters that went out of business during the pandemic. So they did a first wave of fundraising when they sold to the hedge fund last week. They raised about $250, and then they sold off another 11 million shares, I think, at the end of last week to get even more money. Because AMC is like, we just want a lot of money, and this stock is inflated, so we're going to cash in. And in fact, a number of AMC insiders who own stock as part of their compensation for working for the company have been selling off at this high price point. They're like, it's only going to go down from here. Let's cash out. Although it's worth noting that the CEO of the company still has retained his shares and he hasn't sold his position. So I think that would look, because he knows he would tank the stock if he did. So it's very interesting. How many of you, does anyone here own AMC stock? Hey, Brandon. Dancing Dog 60, I would not invest on AMC or make any trader decisions while you're hopped up on a performance enhancer, like in Limitless. I certainly wouldn't buy AMC stock now. I don't think it'll ever go high. A Smalls has 4 shares. Good for you. Amy has 20. Oh, this is great. Logan has Disney stock. Awesome. A Smalls bought 4 shares at 50. Hocus Pocus says part of my fund. Rob has some stock. Oh, that's great. Reddy says I have a stack of homework. That's very funny. I bought Disney too, Lisa. I own some Disney stock. Brandon, I do own some stock. I'm just getting involved. It's hard, I'm working so hard to follow the entertainment business. It's hard for me to then follow the stock market. If you really want to get involved in stock, you have to kind of look over the financial reports and things like that, like you would if you were a comic book fan looking over how the movies and TV shows are doing. It requires that level of attention. So that's really difficult to do. So very interesting. Very interesting. Brandon, we're not at the question section just yet. All right, so we have one more section to go. All right, so that's about AMC stock. Fascinating. Then the third story of the day is that Carrie Mulligan, thank God, has gotten another gig. I felt really bad that the timing was just very bad for her when it came to Promising Young Woman. I thought she did an incredible job in that movie, and I wish that she had gotten, more recognition off of it. She did get a lot of nominations, and once you're nominated forever. You become someone that people really think about a lot. So I think that's good. But I wish that she had gotten, I think she deserved to have a couple of wins, but she didn't get them. But anyway, I kind of still want her to be Zatanna, as Mika just pointed out. I'm like, come on, cast her as Zatanna. I love her so much. I think she's a great actress. but this is a pretty darn good role. So, Carrie Mulligan has been cast with Zoe Kazan, who you see next to her there, as New York Times reporters Megan Twohy and Jodie Cantor. Now, who are these two women pictured down below? I believe they're playing the ones that are opposite from them. So I think that Carrie Mulligan's playing the taller one, and Zoe Kazan is playing the one on the left. But anyway, these are the two female reporters for the New York Times who broke the Harvey Weinstein scandal, which was a dark, dark secret in Hollywood for, as you know, a long time. I think people in Hollywood knew that Harvey Weinstein was difficult, but I think they didn't know the extent of what he was doing, which is pretty horrific. So this is like a Woodward and Bernstein, All the President's Men kind of story. It's a really, really, interesting script for them. It's interesting to me because Bombshell, as Chico just said, Bombshell did not get very well, did not get a lot of recognition, even, but I think that's because of the Fox News angle, which made it really unsympathetic. So this is kind of like Bombshell round 2. And this has all women behind the camera. Unorthodox director, Maria Schroeder. I don't know if you saw Unorthodox. Fantastic show on Netflix, really, really strong. So she's moving on to directing a movie. And then Rebecca Lickenwitz is scripting. And this is going to be for Plan B, which is very, I think, I'm not sure about Ronan Farrow if he broke the story, Kyle. I know Ronan Farrow has broken a couple of things. I know he's done a lot of research. But I think the thing that really was like the article that cracked the thing wide open, I think that was the New York Times. Just like, I think it was the Hollywood Reporter that took down Scott Rudin, who was really the yin to Harvey Weinstein's yang. They were like two titan producers over at a certain period of time, and both were very abusive, as now everybody knows. But anyway, Plan B is producing. That's Brad Pitt's company. They have a very strong, Lloyd, you're right, it is Brad Pitt's company. Plan B has a very strong awards Rolodex. They're not always a guarantee, though, because it's becoming very competitive in the awards space. And I think that Annapurna Pictures, which is Megan Ellison's company, I get a little worried about Megan Ellison's company. I don't know if she has the ability to, she has her own maybe negative behavior, which hasn't quite come out yet, but there are whispers about that. And I don't think she has a ton of friends in Hollywood. So I don't know about her ability to get this movie across the line when it comes to awards. Awards are so political. They're political in the type of film that's being awarded and who's behind the scenes and the way they can, campaign. So I don't know if Annapurna has the ability to get this, to do this. So we'll see, though. I think it's a very, very strong. Brett, I don't know who's going to play Harvey Weinstein. I can't imagine who would be willing to play that role. Although, who was the actor? Brendan Gleeson did an incredible job playing Donald Trump in the movie about, what's the name of that guy? Jeff Daniels played him, The Comey Report. The Comey Report on Showtime. I think it was Showtime. Nobody watched that. Nobody paid attention to it. It was fascinating. And the interesting thing was it made both Trump and Comey look bad. They were both a disaster. It was fascinating. So I'll be curious to see how this movie comes together. I think it's got a lot of things that it has to do. I think it's going to be difficult, but I think it could be really good. All right, so those are the 3 stories of the day. It's 6:07, and you can ask me anything that you would like until 6:17. Oh, look, Yutaka, you watched The Comey Rule? It was great. It was fascinating. Showed a lot of problems in the way the government is set up. Miko, reviews this week. I'm going to review Loki. I'm going to review Infinite. I think those are the only 2. Oh, and the Hitman's Bodyguard embargo lifts. The Hitman's Bodyguard embargo, I'm seeing it tomorrow. It lifts on Wednesday, but that's the day that Loki comes out, so I'm going to try and review it on Wednesday. I might have to review it on Thursday. Danny, I'm so glad you're ready for the Loki watch-along party. We're going to have such a good time. Yes, I saw that Shadow and Bone is renewed. I tweeted about it. I'm so happy. I love that show. I think it's such an excellent show. I'm so happy about it. Who asked me? Harley Quinn Dove says, what ethnicity is Namor in the comics? Isn't he just portrayed as a pompous jerk? That's right! I think it's open to interpretation, to be honest with you. I saw some pretty strong arguments for him being a person of color from actual panels that were pulled from comic books over the years that made sense to me. So I think it could be done. I think it could definitely be done. Zeester says, aren't there too many shows and movies to keep up with? I feel like so much good content is being ignored. I think that's true. I think that's why Loki was given to pretty much anybody who has an outlet. Anyone who has any kind of audience at all got Loki. And I think it's to get the word out there, to really, to just saturate it so that it seems like, how can you not watch? I mean, apparently a lot of people are watching The Bad Batch, but not a soul's talking about it. I just checked trending earlier on Disney Plus, and Bad Batch, although who can trust that trending section, but Bad Batch was high, and like no one talks about that show. Let's see here. Brett, I don't know if F9, there's been no update on whether or not what the window will be before it goes to digital, but it was announced today it will play at the Cannes Film Festival, which I think is still, I don't know if that's an in-person event, but I thought that was pretty funny that F9 would be playing there. Oh, Lisa, I'm glad you're enjoying The Bad Batch. That's excellent. Joseph, the Loki episodes, the first two are a little, without credit. With credits, they're about 51, 54 minutes, I believe, are the two running times. But remember, on streaming, credits are about a little under 10 minutes long. So I think both of the first episodes are around the mid 40 minute mark. I liked watching them back to back. I wish that they would drop both of them tomorrow. I think it would help the show a lot. Chico, I think someone else asked me about it as well. I'm definitely watching Behind the Attraction. I feel bad they got a new person to narrate because I love the person who does the toys and the movies that made us. I think that voiceover is fantastic, but I'm very excited to see it. I'm a big Disney fan. I love the theme parks. And I feel bad there isn't a Peter Pan Behind the Attraction, but I guarantee you this will be such a big hit, they will do another round. I think it's going to be huge. I think that Behind the Attraction, which is, again, produced by Dwayne Johnson and is from the same people who do the toys and the movies that made us over on Netflix, I feel that will be the biggest Disney Plus hit outside of a Marvel or a Star Wars show, to be honest with you. I did, Mr. King Palma, hear about Donnie Yen and John Wick 4. I tweeted about it. I'm extremely excited for him. I can't wait to cover him in the trailers for the movie and everything and to see his look. I think I'm a huge Donnie Yen fan, and I feel bad he doesn't get more work in Hollywood. I was so happy when he joined Star Wars, but I don't think they gave him enough to do. Master Word says, Cruella, hit or miss? How do you think it's doing? Positive vibes or not? Personally, I did not like it. But I don't really like any of the live action stuff. That's cool. A lot of people love to complain about the live action stuff, but then it does really great. Although I have to say, I thought the Cruella box office has been moderate, and it's not very high on Disney Plus either. I told you I'll believe that they're making a sequel when they date it. When they give it a release date, I'm not going to believe it until then. I believe that they may be talking about it, but I'm not going to take it seriously until they actually have a release date. I think that it has very high audience scores, but I don't know what it is from a financial perspective. Lamatya says, anything about the rumor that Warner Brothers hates the Batman? I don't think that Warner Brothers hates the Batman. As I said, I think they're concerned about the Batman because they want it to be a 4-quadrant film. A lot of times I find that people who are commenting on the entertainment business are forgetting that it's a business. Now, of course, art is an important part of it, but it's primarily a business. And also, it's a business that has to have mass appeal to warrant the amount of money that you want to see poured into these projects. If you could make a comic book movie for next to no money, then we could do whatever we want and really experiment. But it's hey, Madeline, but I see you trying to get through I'm so glad there are so many people today. But yeah, I think that, if it's going to warrant the huge amounts of money that's being poured into it, it has to deliver that at the box office. Now, I've said that I think exploring mental illness with Batman is very interesting. I've liked that when they do that in the comics, and I feel that Batman in real life would be mentally ill. And I think that it's I can't go into it too much. I know more than I can tweet. I will tell you that what I'm hearing is that, for instance, he's on medication, which I think in the movie, they might take this out. And if they do, I haven't heard anything about reshoots, but they could do reshoots. But I've heard that, it's not like a PTSD scenario. It's that Bruce Wayne has legitimate, serious mental issues, and he's trying to work with them, and he's struggling. So one of the things that I tweeted about that was I feel that it might seem insensitive to then have an action figure of that, because I think that it's a real problem. For that individual, and you want to be sympathetic and help them. So that's just where I feel like you have like a problem. Dane, I'm so glad that you like Hacks too. I so related to Hacks. I think that if you want to know what it's like to work in the entertainment business, watch Hacks. Brandon, I'm really pressing my sources to find out about this Spider-Man trailer. I heard that the June 10th thing is not true. Never say never. Again, I'm really reluctant. I'm very happy to confirm. I'm reluctant to say something is not true. So that's kind of my position if you're wondering how I tweet. So I have not heard anything. I'll put it that way. I have not heard anything about it debuting on the 10th. As I've told you, I believe it will debut at the end of June with either F9, which starts playing in some overseas countries as early as the 18th, or the 17th, 18th, or it might be with Black Widow. So I think that's where you're going to see a Spider-Man trailer. Josh, I haven't seen Black Widow yet. Disney has the same publicity department, handles everything there. So right now they're in Loki Luca territory. So I think it's a little too early for them to get into Black Widow. Jerome Wanless says, will Michael Keaton be Batman again? He's going to be an older Batman who advises people. I heard it would be Batgirl. They might change that since we made a really big stink about it. But even the trades have confirmed that he's supposed to stick around in the DCEU to come back to the current timeline with The Flash. Marvel is like, we're about to step into the multiverse, my friends. And DC is so far behind, I just don't know how people are going to be interested in that at that point in 2023. However, I would be very excited to see Michael Keaton come back as Batman, so that might be enough. Marvelous, I am definitely still watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. They sucked me back in. I guess I feel good that Teddy Mellencamp is no longer on the show, so I can take some solace in that. And I'm really enjoying it. I really like Garcelle and Crystal. And Dorit. Those are like my favorite housewives right now. I mean, who would ever thought that I would put Dorit on that list? But I think Dorit has done a nice job kind of, changing her image. Madeline, I think the Mosquito Coast is for mature audiences because it has some violence in it and it shows maybe some disturbing things. But it's I think that it's probably for 13 plus. I'm surprised that Mosquito Coast would be considered for mature audiences, to be honest with you. I think to me it seems very much like a PG-13 show. It's fantastic, by the way. I highly recommend that you watch The Mosquito Coast if you have not. It has a low Rotten Tomatoes score, and I'm like, what? Why? Why would it be so low on the RT score? But it's phenomenal. I really personally loved it. Don't think you're going to get all the answers in season 1, but thank goodness they've been renewed for a season 2. If I had one criticism of Mosquito Coast, I'd be like, tell me the big secret. And they're like, nope, got to see you in season 2. And I'm like, damn it. Louise says, do you think Sweet Tooth is going to be doing better than Jupiter's Legacy? Like, do I think it'll get a second season? I don't know. I don't see anyone talking about Sweet Tooth. I mean, at least Shadow and Bone has a strong online presence. No one seems to be talking about Sweet Tooth, although the audience score is incredible. So hopefully it's low budget, and I don't see how they couldn't do a second season. I mean, even Jupiter's Legacy had only a moderate audience score. It's in the high 90s for critics and audiences. Oh, Lisa, Mosquito Coast is based on the book, which was turned into a movie with Harrison Ford like a couple decades ago, but it's totally different than the Harrison Ford movie. Justin Theroux stars in it, and I think her name is Melissa George. I've never, ever seen Justin Theroux be so likable. I mean, I'm not really a big Justin Theroux fan. I've always sided with Jennifer Aniston when it comes to him. But after watching this show, I'm like, Justin Theroux should be in everything. He should be in the MCU. He should be in the DCEU. He should be whatever anybody would hire him for because he's incredible on this show. I know if anyone watches The Leftovers, which I did not watch, they're like, you're a little late to the Justin Theroux party, Grace. But hey, better late than never, right? Oh, it's 6:18. Let's do some shout outs, all right? So if you're a member, in the comment section, you can just tell me what you're up to, if you're eating anything, if you're working on anything, where you are, what time of day it is. It just gives me something, just give me something to interact with you so I can say hi. So I can give you a shout out. Sean, I saw one Indiana Jones set pic where he just looked like Indiana Jones on a set. Hey, Zombie TV. He didn't look like there was anything worth reporting on it, or I would have made a video about it. Hey, Zista, I'm so glad you like your new job. Congratulations. Hey, Harry in San Antonio. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Luffy, you graduate on Wednesday? That's so exciting. Congratulations. Michael Macenas is playing Frisbee golf in Chicago. That sounds like a great thing to do. Let's see here. Oh, Pastor Madeline is avoiding... how do you pronounce that? Cicadas, right? That's the bug from WandaVision. I'd stay inside too. Let's see here. That weird boy says studying for med school at 1 a.m. in Egypt. Oh, good luck. I hope everything goes well for you. Let's see here. Alex, hi to you in Dublin. Let's see here. Evan Moore says, Rodney Dollar says, rewatching Raya, maybe the 11th time. Have you seen the bonus features? No, because I paid for it on Disney+. I was so upset. They announced Cruella today is coming out very soon for purchase, and it has amazing extras that I will never see because I paid $30 for it on Disney+. Brandon Hamill says, I'm watching you after I will be home watching Disney food recipes to make at home. Oh, that sounds great, like from the parks. Evan Moore says, back in school in Erie, Pennsylvania for summer classes, watching the Mayor of Easttown finale tonight. Oh, it's good. It pays off. Cesar Coronado says, crying in Mexico, loves it. Oh, why are you crying if you're happy, though? Ivan Sarmiento says, here in Mexico, waiting for the Kaylee Cuoco and Elizabeth Olsen variety interview later today. What a great pairing. I like both those actresses quite a bit. I would love to see Kaylee Cuoco get to do a live-action take at Harley Quinn. And Lake Bell is actually a pretty good Poison Ivy. I would love, on the Harley Quinn animated series, for them to do one episode, Cool World style, where they both became live-action versions of the characters. I think that would be so cool. I don't think it'll ever happen, but I would like it to. Carlos Munoz just got his first vaccine. Congratulations! Benz is working on some graphic design projects in Hungary. Fantastic. Scottish boy says, I start my new job tomorrow. Congrats on your new job. That's fantastic. Waffles Daddy says, watching Avengers Campus YouTube videos and eating chicken shawarma. That's the right snack to have. Let's see here. Lucy is in Liverpool in the UK. Hi. Lisa agrees with my Harley Quinn request. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. Foxiest Mulder is going to, where does that say? Oh, it's going fast. Foxiest Mulder, where'd you go? Going to the movie theaters this weekend. Oh, have fun. Chico is going to clean the bathroom after this. Hey, it's got to be done. Master Word says, I got my first dose. Not too bad. Is that at the vaccine? It just made me tired for the day that I got it. And you're eating dinner in Dallas. Yeah, when you get it, take the day off. You know, it's a day off. You did something good. Go take the rest of the day off. Will M says, making dinner and getting ready to watch The Conjuring 3 with friends in South Florida. It's a great movie to watch with other people. You're going to have a great time. We had such a good time at the watch-along on Friday. Keith says, I'm having chips and lime pop in Minnesota. Oh, that sounds fantastic. Let's see here. Spying Mentor says, just got out of the movie theater watching Cruella. Rashad says, playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, enjoying my Monday off of work with my videos. That's great. Let's see. I'll do a couple more. I'll do 3 more, and then I got to go. Ashley says, in Maryland, making a big salad with quinoa for dinner. Oh, that sounds great. Let's see here. Hocus Focus is currently baking some cheddar and chive scones. Oh, delicious. Little Red Lobster style action there. ES says, I love both current Harleys. She sucks in the comics now, though, doesn't she? They can't find someone to write Harley Quinn. I don't know how I feel about Harley Quinn being a hero. Let me ask you that. I'll do a poll. What do you guys think of Harley Quinn being made a hero? I don't like her going like full hero. I have a real problem with it. I like her and Poison Ivy as a couple who are anti-heroes, who do whatever they want. That's what I want. I have to wait for you to catch up to me. Scott agrees with me. Hey, Tito in Brazil. Black Lightning also hates it. Yeah, she's a villain. She's like literally joining the Bat family. It really is bothering. I don't like the art on that title either. But you know what? I still buy it. That's how great a character Harley Quinn is. I buy every single title she's in. I'm so happy that she's a part of Pride Month. She and Poison Ivy are a part of Pride Month celebration at DC this time around. I think that's really excellent. And I'm very excited about the Pride Anthology comic that's coming out maybe tomorrow. I forget what day it's coming out, but it's going to be, I think, really good. I'm particularly excited to read the Harley and Ivy story. I think in Injustice, all bets are off because Superman's a villain, so everybody's changing allegiances. All right, everybody, have a wonderful rest of your day. I love hanging out with you. It's so much fun. If there is a stream tomorrow, because I have this screening for Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, it'll be earlier. Let me see how my schedule looks. But we should have one on Wednesday. I think I'm going to try and have a stream on Wednesday. I'm trying to figure out a new streaming schedule. But the next time I know for sure I'll see you is at 3 a.m. on Wednesday morning to watch Loki. Getting up at who is here is getting up at 3 a.m. to watch Loki when it drops on a Wednesday? I'm just curious as to who's doing that. It's so crazy to do it in the middle of a week. Jose's doing it. Spying Mentor. Bug is like, not me. That's funny. I'm glad some of you are. I've seen the first episode. Do not log on to Twitter until you watch it. You will have it spoiled for you. I guarantee it. Luffy, you're so lucky. It's only midnight for you on the West Coast. If you don't watch Loki when it drops on Wednesday, don't go online until you watch it because it'll be ruined for you. And there's stuff to ruin. I'm so glad so many of you are planning to join me for the watch along. We're going to have such a good time.